Hey, good afternoon. This is Trader Tim from over at EminiMind.com doing a trade recap. Today is Thursday, November 18th, 2021. The last week and a half or so, we've kind of been hanging out up at all-time highs as well as this negative 23% target on the ES daily chart. And there haven't been quite as many opportunities intraday. There's been a lot more just kind of sideways chop. I mean, even this entire week has had a lot of overlap in the candles each day. We've got another hour and 50 minutes or so before the market closes today, but not a ton going on as well. Um, so let's look at a couple things on the intraday chart. Today we had, if we zoom in a little bit, we had actually a nice counter trend long off of a double bottom and a low tick at lows. So anytime, there's kind of two ways to enter a trade. You can draw up a retracement on, say, a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, and then come over to the 512 and find that 50% retracement. I'll link it up here. So draw the full retracement on the larger time frame, and then come over to the smaller time frame, find that 50%, so 4, 6, 8, 3, 13, that's right here. And then if you see the market stop there and then roll over, in this case, because I just drew up a short, if it rolls over and breaks a swing low, which essentially would be down here, then you could draw up a short and enter short. Today that didn't happen. We just kept going higher. We really did not stop at this 50% and went higher from there. So that's one place you can look for entry, sort of a continuation of the larger trend once you get a little bit larger pullback, as opposed to just shorting down at lows once the trend is really clear. If the trend is so clear that anyone can identify it, it's probably too late to get in. But if we look at the low or a temporary low point we had today, when I'm trading counter trend, meaning shorting at highs and buying off of lows, I like to use the nicey tick, that's this chart in the bottom left, to help indicate that we could get a bit of a pop. And so when we have a low tick, meaning the low nicey tick here, that occurs at the exact same time as a low price, which if we kind of back up and pretend that this was real time, let's say the market looks, this is what you're seeing in real time here. You have a low price at 8:13 my time, and then low nicey tick at 8:13. And then we had this pretty clean double bottom, textbook little double bottom here. And so drawing up the retracement long and trying to go counter trend is a great setup. Now this one, if I drew the opposing, the one downside about this trade is that we broke the 61.8 by just a tick. It was 77.69, so it's basically 77 and 3/4 or 77.75 is the nearest tick, and then you add a tick. So that's what I mean when I say we broke this by just a tick. It would have been nice if we could break by 2 ticks, so it's a little more pronounced. But we did have a nice clean touch off of the 50% long here, and then got a little bounce and then rolled over. But as far as the setup goes, I'm not, I'm really not concerned. It sounds a bit ironic, but I'm not concerned with how the trade works out so long as the setup, the quality of the setup is good. And I would rate this, a strong B plus. Not breaking the swing high would have made it a solid A if we could have not breaking the 61.8. This was the swing high that was broken. The double bottom, the low tick, all those three things give a nice check mark to the long. 76.75 was the entry. Had a couple of point move up and then rolled over. So if you get caught up in just focusing on the outcome, like, oh, this trade came back and stopped me out, it was a bad trade. Well, now you're losing sight of the quality of the entry, and what you want to be doing is focusing on replicating quality entries. And, you know, sure, this one trade didn't work out, but, you know, the last 4 or 5 that have, you don't want to lose sight of the entry point and just focus on what the outcome of the trade was. So there really wasn't a whole lot else going on today. Even yesterday, I didn't end up with any trades yesterday, just a whole bunch of blah. One thing I'll point out from the morning, though, that sort of signaled some of this, um, well, I guess two things. So as far as retracements go, there really wasn't a great entry point into this sell-off. We had kind of a consolidation at the open, and then a consolidation where, you know, I took that little counter trend long, but then in the middle we had this nice downtrend. So as far as retracements go, drawing up a micro, which I tried to do here off of this 50%, we did not get a pullback. But for those who've been, you know, watching the videos for a while, or if you're in the live trading session, you know that I, you know, have been trading what I call the 15-minute breakout play. And the way that works is you just take the first 15-minute candle, and then I'm essentially just doing a buy stop above highs, a sell stop below lows, just a tick. So here's that low of the first 15 minutes, and that trade did trigger today and ended up being a pretty big winner. So I don't classify it with the retracement strategy. It's just sort of its own separate thing on the side. But we broke the it was a 89.75. We broke that low of the first 15-minute candle. We did pop up a little bit, but, you know, a 4-point stop is what I use on these, and then I use a 4-point first target, and then so half off at 4 points, and then trail the second half on the 15-minute candle. So that one ended up being a nice runner. Obviously got the 4 points pretty quick, and then just trailing the stop above this high of the 15-minute candle, 78.25, keeps you in. It allows you to capitalize on this, you know, decent drop here. So that was really the only, I guess, momentum play that I had this week that was, you know, something worth jumping in, and turned out to be a nice winner. The rest of the week's been, you know, pretty sideways here. Yesterday, Tuesday, there were, you know, some fake outs towards the high, trying to go short, and kind of we were up here at the highs of Monday, and we were starting to look short, had a few short opportunities that started to go my way, and then we just kind of lost steam and eventually turned around at the halfway back long later in the morning. So not a ton going on this week, and that's okay, because sometimes the market just needs some time to consolidate and to digest the move that we were in. So we were in this strong uptrend for, you know, the last 2 months, and just taking a week or two to just pause, consolidate, and then move higher again, or lower. You know, at this point we have this double top here, swing high, double top, and then the swing low down here, both very, very pronounced. So we can look for, you know, a breakout, buying buying a pullback after a breakout on this 47.11.75, and if we sell off and break this swing low, then I will definitely be looking for a retracement short to buy some puts at the 50% to the downside. So ideally, you know, you break the swing low, you go a little bit lower so that the 50% lines up with the prior swing low, and taking the first short on the daily chart like that, even if we just get one retracement lower, and what do you know, that would take us, if I draw the next halfway back long, you know, generally would take us to the 50% long. So you can still take a short, make it to its negative 23% target, which is near the 50% long, and then the uptrend can still resume, but you can capitalize on what's usually a quick down move after we break a swing low. So that's something to be watching out for. Next week we've got kind of a shortened week with the Thanksgiving holiday, and then Friday will be a half day. I don't never bother trading on Friday after Thanksgiving. And then we're going to be going into December. We've got a Fed meeting in week 2, and then, or I guess technically it's week 3. And I'm expecting some debt ceiling stuff to be adding a little bit of volatility to the market. So just keep your eye on that. That it could just be in a bit of a holding pattern with folks kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. But since the last Fed meeting, yeah, it has not been that exciting. So. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I hope everyone has a great week and a great Thanksgiving. Thanks. We'll talk to you all soon.